Alright, well, I decided to go ahead and do another Periscope chat because our cleaning lady is at the house and I needed something to do. And I got to kill some time, so I'm sitting here at the park in my truck and I figured I might as well go ahead and do this now. So, a couple things that have come across the wire. Mississippi State's first game of the season has been announced in terms of the time. We've always known it's going to be at September 5th in Hattiesburg. We now know the time, 9 p.m. That's Central Time, not Eastern. So if you want to watch the first game of the year, you're going to stay up late. Not ideal. I'm old, as you can see from all the gray hair in my goatee. Going to bed that late is never fun, but I'm sure I'll stay up for at least most of it, hopefully until the game is out of reach. Probably hoping that Mississippi State will have the game in hand easily by the time the third quarter rolls around. Dak Prescott's out of the game. Damian Williams is in the game. Maybe some of the other reserves are in the game, and that way I can just go ahead and turn the game off and then go to sleep. But yeah, there's a lot of things I can think of to do at 9 o'clock, but turning on a football game to start watching it is not one of them. But nevertheless, I'll be there. I'll be watching it just as I'm sure many of you will be. I don't know if I'll be able to stay awake for the whole thing. Like I said, hopefully they'll have the game well in hand by the time the third quarter rolls around. Some other things that have been happening. Andrew posted the other day an article about what it would take for Dak Prescott to win the Heisman in 2015. Some people agreed, some people disagreed. Some people gave me the typical, oh, we need to focus on winning. Here's the thing, we're not the coaches, we're not the ones actually out there leading the team. We just want to know if it could even possibly happen. Because here's the deal, if Dak Prescott's going to win the Heisman Trophy, it's going to have to be done through winning, and Dak Prescott is not going to win the Heisman unless he wins, like Andrew said, at least 10 games, probably even 11. With the out-of-conference schedule being the way that it is, it's not the most difficult schedule in the world in terms of the out-of-conference. In-conference is probably one of the most difficult schedules in the entire conference. All six SEC West teams, plus Missouri at Missouri. The SEC schedule is brutal this year. However, the out-of-conference isn't so difficult. But if he's going to win the Heisman, he's probably going to have to win at least 10 games, maybe even 11 games. So, we want to focus on winning, and if we win a whole bunch of games, then Dak Prescott's probably going to be in the running for the Heisman. I think he can do it. His name's going to be out there a lot more. He's going to have people wanting him to win it more so this year, just because of the fact that he is a proven commodity. You'll see a lot of what happened with Marcus Mariota last year, I think, where Mariota was being pushed early. He kind of fell a little bit off the wayside with Dak Prescott emerging so quickly and having such a good season early on. And then once Mississippi State lost their first game to Alabama, Mariota took over and was never really looked back after that. I think you can see that happen a lot with Prescott. If he has a really big year, I think you're going to see people who will keep his name at the forefront. He will never, as long as he is playing well, he is not going to be out of the conversation. That's going to be the big thing for him next year, is as long as he plays well enough, his name will be mentioned pretty much for the entire season. The only way it will stop is if they start losing, like I've always said, especially when I said this on Monday with the first of these little Periscope chats. If Prescott loses, his name's going to fall out immediately, just like it will with first team, second team, all SEC quarterback. He's not going to be the front runner for any of those, or for the Heisman, or for any other award for that matter, when it comes to the Bulldogs. He's got to win to be in the hunt for all those things. So, yes, some people don't want to hear anything about individual awards, but here's the deal. With individual awards comes success. You can't have any mention of individual awards if the team isn't being successful. So, I fully anticipate the Bulldogs being in the mix, being in the hunt, and if they are winning, you're going to see them mentioned as possible you're going to see guys for the team mentioned as possible award recipients. So don't start thinking, oh, we just need to focus on winning. If we're focusing on winning, we're going to have players who have really good years, and they will be rewarded for those good years. So I really get sick of hearing people say all the time, well, we just need to focus on winning. We don't need to worry about individual stuff. The individual stuff will come with the team stuff. That's one thing that sometimes people tend to forget when they start talking about individual awards or individual accolades. Some other things that will probably come up, Athlon Sports, they had another prediction. We talked a little bit about predictions on Monday. They had a prediction that put Mississippi State 7th in the SEC West. Like I said, that's been the case for pretty much all off season. Here's the deal with their prediction, and I think this is kind of what you're seeing. They predicted Mississippi State to finish 7th in the SEC West. However, they also had them as the 21st ranked team in the country. They had the other 6 teams ranked higher than them, and I think it just kind of goes to show just how difficult the SEC West is. It got slammed really hard when the SEC West went 0 in the bowl season, when they went 0-7 in the bowl season. I'm sorry, they didn't go 0-7. Texas A&M won. I'm trying to think if anybody else won. Arkansas did. So they went 2-5. You had basically the top 5 teams in the SEC West lost their bowl games, and the bottom 2 won it. You're going to have people who predict Mississippi State to finish at the bottom, but I don't necessarily know it's because they think they're a bad team. It's just that they think they're the least of all the 7 that are currently playing in the SEC West. Mississippi State's good. I don't think anybody who will sit there and watch that team that played last year, plus know that they've got lots of people who will be upperclassmen, seniors, juniors coming in, will try to say that they're not going to be good. It's just, are they going to be good enough to finish 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th? That's going to be the key. Are they good enough to finish higher up and compete with Alabama, Auburn, LSU, and all those people next year? Somebody says no. That's your opinion as well. I think they can. I think they've got enough talent. It's going to be a very, very close year next year. I really do. I think they're going to have a lot of games that are decided by slim margins, and Mississippi State's going to have to take care of their home court. If they're going to do that, take care of the home field. If they do that, they'll have a chance. 8-4 is probably a decent place to start at. I think that's kind of like the median. I could see them going higher. I could see them going lower. So, like I said, you're going to get all of these predictions. We've gotten plenty of them so far. There will be more. I know Phil Steele is getting ready to release his as well. I think he's already released some of it. He's released his preseason predictions, his preseason All-SEC teams. Not a whole lot of Bulldogs were on it, I know that much. He did have Dak Prescott as the first team All-SEC quarterback. I think he had him second team All-American, possibly, maybe even first team. I can't remember. He didn't have a whole lot of other Bulldogs, and that I don't expect to have a whole lot of. They did lose a lot of starters off last year, so don't anticipate seeing a bunch of Mississippi State Bulldogs on the preseason All-SEC teams. You'll see a few. You'll see Prescott. You might see Durania Wilson. I'm trying to think anybody on the defensive side that might be there. Chris Jones will have a chance to be preseason All-SEC. Other than that, you probably won't see a whole lot of other players on the preseason All-SEC teams. You'll have some guys who will have a chance to make it after the season is over. I think you'll have some guys who have some really good solid years. I'm really expecting Shumpert. I'm expecting Donald Gray to have put up some pretty big numbers. So we'll just see. Anyway, I'm going to try to keep these to about 15 minutes when I do them, because that way I can upload it to YouTube and then send it on to our website. So if you get this and you want to check it out later, I'll try to have it up onto our website later on today, probably around 7 o'clock tonight, and you can catch it then. Appreciate you coming.